Hello everybody, I am back to complete the next video in the cycle, as it were, to talk about the Ghost of the Deep Rite of the Nine arsenal. Hopefully I can get through this whole thing without coughing. We'll see. I'm already in grave danger. Now, the Ghost of the Deep arsenal, in my opinion, might be the strongest of the three. It is the only one that features a heavy weapon worth a damn, and one that you definitely should have. But it also has a lot of variety that will end up appealing to a lot of different players, different play styles, and it's a really fun group of guns. Now, we're still getting the Gravity Well origin trait that is available on the Rite of the Nine weapons, but we're also getting the Restoration Ritual origin trait, which has a lot of fun opportunities on a few of these guns. So, reviving allies or defeating combatants with finishers reloads this weapon and readies an emergency ammo refill for the next time this weapon runs out of ammo. That can be very powerful, especially on the heavy weapon option that we get from here, and is definitely something that needs to be considered with all four of the guns that you're going to be earning from this. Starting with the Greasy Luck Rapid Fire Glaive. Up front, rapid fire glaives don't quite hit as hard as their adept or aggressive counterparts, and that can sometimes result in additional shots being required to get the same effect. However, and I don't claim to be a glaive expert, I am mostly dabbled, and so take what I say with a little more grain of salt than traditional, but it's hard to really narrow down which specific perks are good on Greasy Luck, because they are situationally good for anybody and everybody, especially with the changes coming to the strength stat in the Edge of Fate. Glaives are going to get a lot stronger when they scale off of that new damage bonus if you are building into the melee stat. There is no one-size-fits-all solution here. A lot of these perks synergize into each other very well, close to melee and melee momentum. You have replenishing Aegis and unstoppable force. Reconstruction, always good. Redirection, chain reaction. I can't just tell you these few perks are the best options. There are almost no bad options on Greasy Luck. This might be one of the best glaives you can get because there's no real bad options. You just have to farm it until you get the role that is going to benefit your playstyle. And I feel like I understand that that's a bit of a cop-out, but that's what happens when these weapons are really good. It's hard to just suggest 2 or 3 perks and say, hey, these are the absolute best options. Just farm Greasy Luck until you get what you want, and it's great. This is going to be a great glaive, probably for a long time. And so, if you have any interest in glaives, you should 100% be farming a good Greasy Luck, whatever that version of good is to you. Moving on now, we have the new Pacific Epitaph, the Wave Frame Special Breachload Grenade Launcher, which previously didn't have a ton of great perk options and is one of the bigger glow-ups in this particular run of weapons. A lot of people are going to look and they're going to say, hey, you know what? Envious Arsenal, that's a great damage rotation perk. That is a false positive. I would not necessarily recommend Envious Arsenal on this weapon because if you are using it against bosses, wave launchers can be a little weird, especially if the boss is floating in any way. So if you're dealing with a wizard or like a big harpy, anything like that, it's not going to be as consistent as something like Wilderflight. Boy, I hope I remember that name right. From the Spire of the Watcher dungeon. And so when it comes to this gun, my top options actually end up being Unrelenting, Lead from Gold, and Demolitionist, with a little caveat that if recycled energy gets buffed, it could be really good on this gun. Envious, I don't view wave launchers as part of a traditional damage rotation outside of Ranix, and so I don't really I don't really dig it as a best in slot option. Unrelenting heals you, which is always great. Lead from Gold gives you more ammo. And Demolitionist is grenade energy and a quick reload. And again, with the new changes that we have coming in the Edge of Fate, Demo might have additional uptime if you're building heavily into your grenade stat. And so there's a lot of fun play potential there. I know Rhyme Stealer is there, but there is no synergistic perk in the 4th column. So you're going to have to bring your own stasis if you want to use Rhyme Stealer, which I feel makes it infinitely less effective in this particular scenario. When you get to the 4th, you have Chain Reaction, which is always good. Given a choice of a damage perk for something that's kind of quick, I'm not building into Elemental Honing. I'm probably looking at Sword Logic if I want to get something quick and dirty. Or, again, Redirection is an opportunity damage and rank and file combatants, increases damage against more powerful ones. That actually feels like one of the better options on this particular gun because it is a traditional add clear weapon. And either origin trait you go with on this one, either Gravity Well or Restoration Ritual, both provide some exciting play opportunities. No Survivors is still really good, it turns out. And it benefits just from getting more synergy with its element. So Heal Clip is a new addition here that I love. Attrition Orbs is great and is always a beneficial perk. And then, of course, Demolitionist to get ability energy and a quick reload. I'm not as wild about rewind rounds on this particular gun because it's slow firing. And, if you're killing these enemies fast with some of these 4th column options, you're not going to be really using rewind as much as you're changing between targets. You might not keep that uptime going. And so, on a machine gun, something bigger, maybe on a trace rifle, but on an SMG, rewind rounds, not my first pick, or my 4th in this case. When we get to the 4th column, Master of Arms is an awesome choice. Sword Logic is a great perk, and Target Lock, again, if you're going to go rewind, Target Lock is kind of the no-brainer pick there, but that's for single target damage. I would really recommend Incandescent just for the additional solar synergy and add clear potential. It's a great gun. It's kind of quick and dirty, does what it needs to do, gets the job done, and does it really well in a lot of different ways. Finally, rounding out our list is the Cold Comfort Rocket Launcher, and this, in my opinion, is just the best gun in this dungeon. You have Reconstruction if you want an auto-loading perk. You have Envious Arsenal if you want an auto-loading perk. You have Impulse Amplifier if you want a perk that's going to help you reload and just increase your velocity. Those are kind of my top 3 picks in this particular, in this 3rd column. Those are all great options that are going to benefit you in different ways. In the 4th column, I'm a huge bipod stan. I love bipod, and situationally, it can be extremely effective if you're building into it properly. Explosive Light is always an option if you just want to passive, like not even think about it, damage perk, and then the tried and true bait and switch. So getting that kind of synergy with Envious Arsenal and bait and switch, but also having that consistently long damage perk that you can continue to cycle through and continue to reproc. Honestly, Envious and bait and switch are the big appeal here. And then when you get Restoration Ritual, if you can just finish an enemy prior to a damage phase, you're going to get a free reload of a rocket during that damage phase, and that's an absolute win for DPS. Again, keeping these videos kind of quick. I appreciate you guys watching. I will have a prophecy video out at some point in the next few days as we are entering the week where all 3 dungeons are going to be available and farmable with the additional drops. So please keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.